Alright, let's dive into this. Pun absolutely intended. So, the mystery of the disappearing long-spined Black Sea urchins? It's not just a quirky ocean oddity. It's a story that ties together climate, ecology, and human impact in ways that are both fascinating and deeply concerning. Personally, I think this is one of those environmental puzzles that, once you start unraveling it, reveals just how interconnected our planet really is. Here's the hook. Imagine you're a diver in the 1970s, exploring the vibrant reefs of South Florida. The water's crystal clear, the fish are like a living rainbow, and the corals? They're thriving. But fast forward to today, and it's a different story. What happened? Well, one thing that immediately stands out is the role of these sea urchins, Diadema and Alarum. They're not just spiky nuisances, they're algae-eating machines that keep reefs healthy. Without them, algae take over, and corals suffocate. It's like removing the gardeners from a forest and watching it get choked by weeds. What makes this really interesting is the timing. The first major die-off of these urchins happened in 1983, right around the same time as massive coral bleaching events. At the time, divers like Gary Rose, who's been underwater for over 50 years, noticed the urchins losing their spines and vanishing. But here's the kicker. They didn't realize how critical these creatures were. They were too busy celebrating not getting poked by those spines. In hindsight, it's a classic example of how we often miss the warning signs of ecological collapse. Now, let's talk about the Sahara. Yes, the Sahara. What many people don't realize is that dust from the Sahara travels across the Atlantic, carrying nutrients and, unfortunately, pesticides. In 1983, there was a massive locust outbreak in North Africa, and the pesticides used to combat it ended up in the ocean. This dust, combined with warmer waters, likely fueled algae blooms that smothered reefs. The urchins, already stressed, couldn't keep up. It's like sending firefighters into a blaze without any equipment. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. After 1983, things started to recover, slowly. Fewer dust storms, cleaner waters, and the urchins began to return. Then, in 2022, history repeated itself. Another massive die-off, this time linked to a parasite called Phylastera pontigiformis. Scientists figured this out by comparing healthy and sick urchins, exposing healthy ones to the parasite, and watching them die. It's grim, but it's also a testament to how science can solve these mysteries. From my perspective, this isn't just a story about sea urchins or corals. It's a story about how small changes in one part of the world, like pesticide use in Africa, can trigger a cascade of events that devastate ecosystems thousands of miles away. It's also a reminder of how fragile these systems are. Corals are already under stress from warming oceans, acidification, and pollution. Losing their cleanup crew? That's a death sentence. What this really suggests is that we need to think globally when it comes to conservation. Protecting reefs isn't just about local efforts. It's about addressing the root causes of climate change and pollution. Personally, I think this story should be a wake-up call. If we don't act, we're not just losing sea urchins or corals. We're losing entire ecosystems that millions of species, and humans, depend on. So here's my closing thought. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just an ocean problem. It's a human problem. We're the ones spraying pesticides, emitting greenhouse gases, and disrupting these delicate balances. But we're also the ones who can fix it. The question is, will we? Let me know what you think in the comments. How do you see this story fitting into the bigger picture of environmental conservation? Let's keep the conversation going.